Today, we're going to be talking about side hustles that people might have, or another name would be home-based businesses. I hope you enjoy. In today's economy, it's not unusual to talk to people that have created a side hustle, some kind of additional revenue generator other than whatever they do primarily as an occupation. And in a lot of these cases, it presents itself as a home-based business. So some interesting examples for that might be something like you may be raising puppies. So maybe you're raising dachshunds or some other breed of dog, and you do that there at your property. You just have a little small area maybe you've built where you keep the animals, and then each time you have a litter of puppies, you advertise them, people come and buy them, you make a little bit of extra money. Another scenario might be photography. Maybe you have a full-time job, but you enjoy photography. And so this hobby that you have has expanded into maybe now you're occasionally doing weddings, or you're doing some graduation photography or some family photography or anything along that line. Or it could be that during tax season, you like numbers, you have a knack for numbers, and you do some taxes for people. It's not your full-time job, but you've got a space, basically, you just do them at your house. You don't require an office. Any of those scenarios, you don't have an office set up somewhere else. This kind of stuff frequently gets overlooked as it relates to how does this affect your homeowner's insurance, or a better way to say it is, what kind of coverage would my homeowner's insurance provide? That's going to depend a lot on your carrier. Now, we can say as a general rule, business coverage or business property is going to be very limited. So all homeowners policies have a limitation because the homeowners policy is not designed to deal with a business. That's a totally different exposure. So what might you be dealing with? Well, whatever property that you're using in relation to that business, maybe you've built a little building, or maybe you haven't built a building, you're just using some of your equipment in your house. You might have made a bedroom into an office, and so you've got your furniture, maybe a desk, filing cabinets, things of that nature. Well, all homeowners policies are going to have a small limit of coverage for property. The other exposure that you might have is liability. Somebody comes on your property, maybe you're raising the animals, or somebody's coming to pick up a taxes that you've completed for them or something like that, and they get injured on the property. People would automatically reach out to their homeowners to see about protection under their liability. If it's business related, odds are your homeowner's policy is going to point to the contract and let you know or remind you that this is for personal liability. This is not business or commercial liability. So how do you deal with that? Well, one of the ways with some carriers is an endorsement. So some carriers have what's called a home-based business endorsement. And depending on the type of business and the exposure, you might be able to simply add a rider to your homeowner's policy to address that. And then that rider might expand your property coverage, reducing or removing that limitation, and then also endorse so that the liability coverage would come into play. If that's the case, it may be something that's based on receipts, the amount of revenue that this particular business creates, because that gives them an idea really of how much exposure might be out there. On the other hand, if it's big enough, or if you are dealing with a carrier that does not offer home-based business endorsements, then in that scenario, you would need to look at some kind of standalone BOP or business insurance to address that. But this is becoming more and more frequent as our economy, inflation has increased, and people are looking for ways to generate revenue. Unfortunately, they end up having some exposures oftentimes that they don't even realize have been created, and they don't find out until claim time. And that is exactly the wrong time to find out that there's a gap that you were not aware of. if you have questions about this, any kind of risk management, excuse me, if I could speak, risk management, home, auto, business insurance, along that line, please don't hesitate to give myself or Terry a call here at Westside Advisors and Insurance Services. I hope you have a great week.